All right. What the hell happened is, oh my gosh. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. JT here with you back in the studio 10-4 live. Yeah, just had a complete meltdown of our stream app. I don't know what happened except that there was two of me on my end, and it thought that I was a guest as well as the host, and therefore all of the playback was going through the microphone, and it was just like being in an echo chamber on this end, and it would have never worked out on your end either. So hopefully that doesn't screw the pooch on the whole show thing, and everybody can figure it out that we just went live, but it's just another screen. Okay, so everybody get in there and join us. We want to make sure you come in and hang out with us, and hopefully everybody shows up, especially our guests. I got Randy Cole in here today again from NHRDA, and of course Bobby Vaz, our March cover trucker. And today's show is sponsored by Pittsburgh Power, makers of Max Mileage, and our good buddy Evan Stager, detailing and polishing. Time to shine when it's time to shine. Think Evan and all the guys over there at his group, and they're going to be busy boys here because Matt's is coming up, Mid America Truck Show, Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship, and everything else that's going to be going on this year in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're now gearing up for all of that. Yeah, nice, like that, Dan. Huh? That's a special mic boom badge for 10-4 magazine there. Yes. I thought you'd appreciate that. Dale Bocaleone, what's going on, buddy? John Fearborn, good to have you on the show. And of course, I was just talking to Dan, the man himself, Dan Linz over here as well. So technical difficulties, bearing any more. Hopefully the show will go on here and everything will be okay. This last weekend, obviously, we were all in Arizona for the first show of the year of 2025, and it was a good weekend, man. It was a little scary at first because the weather decided to take over and have its show on Friday, and then of course on Saturday, fortunately, Mother Nature took pity on us and gave us a nothing but beautiful sunny day, and everything got done on Saturday that would have been broken up into 2 days. They condensed it all into one day. So right now I want to bring Mr. Randy Cole in from NHRDA, National Hot Rod Diesel Association. Randy, how you doing, my friend?
I was gonna say, if you can hear me, because I think the internet is sketchy on
We
my
got you,
end.
brother.
So if
We
you got
got
me.
you. Yep.
So I'm guessing some of that Arizona luck chased you down home because, right? We had our glitches all weekend, and I think you got the last of it today. So once you get through the show, you should be all good.
It's all going to get dispersed into the galactic particles and away from us for good, I hope. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because that was weird. I've never, and I've been doing this a long time, never have I had a problem. Now, recently we've had a couple of glitches with our streaming app, and they may be getting a little ahead of themselves because they're putting some really nice features into the app, but I think it might be overwhelming to it, and it's causing us some problems. So, tell me, how do you squeeze 2 days of planned activities, racing, qualifying, and everything else of a weekend into one day? How did that turn out?
Well, you don't sleep, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, you come up with this harebrained idea that, hey, we're going to finish all at the same time, right? Pick a
Yeah.
Custom Truck Show is going to be finishing. We're going to be finishing drag racing. The dyno's finishing, and we still have to do a burnout. Right? Yeah, but it all worked. I mean, everybody's team, John at 10-4, you guys, the burnout guys, it was complete chaos, but it worked out. So.
Well, you know something, honestly, from where I was working and covering, it sounded really good. It looked really good as far as the show trucks, close to 300 trucks there at the show. You
Right.
guys handled your business over there. You got the qualifying done. You got the eliminators done. Dyno ran, burnout box, like check all the boxes. Everything worked out.
It did, thanks good. And we set records, right? We set 2 new national records this weekend. So yeah, it was a great weekend. Over the weekend count was to over 10,000 people over 2 days, right? So you can't go wrong,
Yeah. Yeah, Dan says it best. Producing a truck show equals chaos every time. And it does, man. And you know what? I mean, it just shows how your character is and how good you are at it as to what happens in the end, right? I mean,
Right. And then, of course, our
so,
first show, but this year we brought in a drone. You saw the drone flying over. So
yes, sir.
we had 5 cameras on the track. We had a wireless camera and a drone. And yes, everybody said it looked great, but as John knows, all the stuff behind the scenes, we were yelling at each other and why isn't that working? And right.
Yeah, it's I want to kill you. Why isn't this happening right now? And then later on, I love you, brother, and everything's
Right.
good.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
mean,
I
just
think
the way it goes.
Rod Pickett's the only one that kept his cool the whole time, right? Rod's like, whatever,
You know
it'll
what?
all happen.
Yeah, it has to be that way because what else are you going to do? I mean, you get through it, you put it together, you make it happen. So,
Right.
I want to let everybody know too, NHRDA is sanctioned. You guys are sanctioned and governed by NHRA, correct?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
we're in a alternate sanctioning organization of NHRA. So yes, we follow NHRA rules, but of course NHRA doesn't understand the diesels and the weight of the diesels. So we have taken our rules with NHRA rules. But yes, anywhere you go, if you're an NHRDA member, you can go race it in any NHRA track and
yeah,
follow our guidelines. Yeah, but
yeah.
we have a point system, national records, world records.
So there's a lot to what's happening here. It's not just some, thrown together kind of let's see what happens. It's the real deal. And
20 years now.
how many?
20 years.
20 years. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of history there. Someday we'll have to see if we can do a playback reel of, 20 years ago to now and what it looked like then versus today. You didn't have big rigs back then, right?
We brought big rigs into our show in 2015 is when we started that. But again, the evolution, right? I mean, back then to see a street truck go under 20 seconds was amazing. And now I got Ricky Fenwick and people like that are, they've busted into the 13s. Ricky hauled 70,000 pounds up from Cut and Shoot, Texas, where he lives. What a name, right? Cut and Shoot, Texas.
Cut and shoot. Yeah, I like it.
I thought he was making that up when he first told me, but he got a load up there, dropped it off Phoenix on Thursday, came over, dropped his trailer, went and ran the quarter mile all weekend long and had to hook up and go get a load on Monday. And I think he was going up to Denver or somewhere after that. So yeah, it's so many guys get scared of going down the track. I'm like, I guarantee you that 80,000 pounds going over the grapevine, that is way harder on your truck than going down the quarter mile.
Well, and a lot less fun, that's for sure. Going back and I'm thinking it was at least 5 years ago when you and I met in Sacramento, and these guys came in and they were just father and son running their trucks, doing their deal, and they came in and decided, you know what, we're gonna compete, and they did, and they got out of there okay, and then that year they showed up in Kentucky and they were at Louisville at Matt's. And I thought, this is too cool that these guys just off the street. I mean, in NHRA language, that's bracket racing, basically.
Right.
It came in and did it, man. And, some other guys weren't as lucky. I mean, things can happen when you're putting your truck through that kind of stress. So be ready to, fix it if you need to. But I just thought that was really cool.
Right. It is really cool. It really is.
Gary, what's going on, buddy? Good to have you on here. Dave, Brandon Chase, of course, Miss Shannon in the show, Kim, Jeff Patella, what's going on? Good to have you, Jeff. I'm getting our cover guy in here, and I want to make sure he comes on aboard here because he knows how to drive truck, but navigating this damn app and getting back in, he has to. Anyway, what's coming up in NHRDA? What are we doing next?
We are on our way to Tulsa. It's in May 16th and 17th, trucking in Tulsa. Same thing. Oki Shine, I want to say his name is Oki Shine. He's the local polishing guy there. He's supposedly calling Naomi down there at Mad Gear, and same deal though. We got a truck show, we got drag racing, dyno, burnout, the exact same thing we just did in Arizona. We'll be doing it in Tulsa Raceway Park on May 16th and 17th.
Awesome. And while you say that, I got just something real quick for us to check it out. Everybody, have a look at this. All right, little bumper there for NHRDA and their upcoming event, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Want to also, while we're here, give a great big shout out to to Rod Pickett and Pickett Custom Trucks, the whole family down there that did that end of the show, the truck show and shine. Just really class act, and man, did they! I think they nailed it on their winners. Some real beautiful irons showing up, and I'd like to say, I'm proud to know some of them are right here in my backyard that got best of truck, if I'm not mistaken. Interior, engine, Big Ed.
Big Ed.
Yeah, Big Ed cleaned up. So that beautiful truck of his is just never going to go away. And 10-4 had its eye on it and put it on the cover, and it's just never going to leave. That's just quite a showpiece. So congrats to everybody else out there too. And Randy, good job on you and your team. And we'll look forward to the next time around with you.
We'll see you. Trucking for Kids is coming up next month, right?
Yes, sir. It's going to be first weekend of May, and that'll be down in Famoso, California. Right. Well, Famoso Racetrack in call it Bakersfield, whatever the hell they call it, whatever you want to call it.
Bakersfield.
All right.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Take
care. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. So now that we got this thing fixed and we got Randy out of the studio and he can go get some Z's, man, that boy's needing it. He's he's not a trucker, but he put 11 or 12 hours behind the wheel to get where he's at so he could be here with us just now. Appreciate Randy doing that. But I'm going to bring our current cover trucker, and that's Mr. Bobby Vaz, into the show. Bob, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good now. Jeez, what a freaking nightmare that was at the beginning, but we got to work out. Good to have you on the show, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
You bet. You bet. You know what? I forgot to grab my copy of the magazine. So if you got one there, hold it up for me. You got one handy?
Yes, we do.
There it is. Yes, sir. March 2025 cover truck. And right there in real life, the owner, operator, driver of it. Everybody, if you haven't got your copy, then get yourself a copy somehow, a subscription. Best way to do it, get a subscription, then you'll get that every month in the mail. So I think this has been kind of a long time coming, man. You've been doing the truck show thing and looking good for a long time. So congratulations and welcome to the family. That's the official welcome in, man.
Thank you. It's definitely an honor to be a part of it.
Well, it is. There's only one per month, 12 per year, and then there's everybody and everything else. So it's a special place to be when you land your truck on the cover of the magazine. So I got to tell you, man, I didn't read the whole story until today, and I didn't quite get all the way through it even then. You got a story, brother.
Yep.
And you were born in 78, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so you're a youngster to me. See, I'm an old man now, man. What the hell? You got a few years to go before you catch me, but man, yeah, you got a story. And
he did a great job.
Well, Dan always does a good job. Yeah, we got some feedback on your end there, Bobby. I don't know what you can do about it, but it's playing back through on your end. So everybody just have to bear through it, I guess, here on this one. But the story, I mean, first I want to say, I'm kind of a little bit similar in your world, but different. I never knew my biological father, and you never knew yours, and for different reasons. But going from there, haven't read the story, really need to read the story. It just goes from there. I mean, having that happen in a guy's life, and then somebody else step in. I've been a stepdad. it's a different place to be. But ultimately, you went out on your own, and here you are, man. You took it to the streets yourself, by yourself, and went out and did it.
I did. I had no choice. Just one of those things. Yeah, we just did it. Never say no. And when there was work, we went and did it. And if I couldn't figure it out, I'd ask questions. And here I am. It's a true testament to hard work.
Well, it is. It's all about hard work, and a lot of work ethics never quite measure up, and therefore probably fall short of some of the success that others might realize. And in your case, you're doing real good, man. I mean, I know things are a little bit kind of crazy right now with things the way that they're going, and it's just sort of all timing in together. The wine industry is in a weird deal right now. It's been cutting back, and but yet maybe there's other things that are coming ahead for you guys, and that's a good thing, because you gotta have somewhere else to go to pick up the slack and still stay on top, right?
Right. Yeah, the wine industry is getting a little weird. A lot of hands changing right now. Even the hay market's gotten real slow. The horse industry in California it's starting to move east, and just every time there's something going on in the horse world, California, kind of has to put their 2 cents in. And a lot of these producers, these like race horses, they've got, and so we're getting our feet wet. I used to drive a transfer truck, and I just put together a truck, and we're actually going to head east and give that a big whirl, and excited for that, and see what happens.
Well, there's a howdy and congratulations there from somebody you probably know pretty good then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome, man. I'd like to say too, having versatility, and we had this conversation a little bit the other day, having versatility is everything. I mean, farmers, I've watched, because I've been in the valley and I've seen the guys, chasing whatever crop seems to be the one to go for at the time. Doesn't always work out, but seems like it's always keeping everybody busy anyway. And if nothing else, you at least keep things going until you start making good money again. But there's just a lot of weird stuff going on right now that is happening for reasons that they need to happen. That's all I can say. For really, from the standpoint of looking at the outside in, there's things that are going on have nothing to do with the trucking industry yet. There's things that are going on that are affecting it, as well as many others. And number one is energy. I mean, we got to get this energy thing worked out, and I think that's coming around. It's just not happened yet. But when it does, that's going to help a lot of things.
Yeah, I think you're right. But this trucking industry, it's not always great all the time. But I believe it's going to come back, and we just you got to be diversified in what we do. And I think in my situation, that's what's helped me get to where I'm at, and having a trailer to do a little bit of everything between livestock and flatbed stuff, and surrounding myself with great people has been probably the key, and working with good people. And that's like I said, this trucking thing, it's up and down, but if you do the right thing, it always comes back. So
good people is a big part of it, and the circle that 10-4 can help put people into is certainly a something we like, and we appreciate that it's there for people to become a part of. It's sort of a brotherhood of its own. There's a family within the 10-4 circles that draws good people in, and we're glad to be able to have that, and have that as sort of we're the clubhouse,
yeah, absolutely.
We like to think of it that way, kind of, and a great gathering place for a lot of folks. So the truck show deal too, man, that's another thing that seems to usually generate a very good culture, and a lot of good people. You make a lot of good connections. It's networking, it's trucker networking, and then a guy like you're out there in the world doing what you do, and you're doing your own. You got your own networking going on out there as well. So big advice for everybody. If you're to tell somebody who's looking at what you're doing versus what they're doing, and it isn't working out so good for them, what would you tell them, just off the top of your head? What's something they should be doing that they may not be?
Don't be afraid to talk to people, and
I like
if
that.
there's something out there, give it a shot. Like I said, I told Dan, my biggest thing is never say no. And we were doing stuff yesterday that, we never do. We moved containers for a guy, and we did some stuff yesterday that we had to get a little cowboy crazy with yesterday, but
Yeah.
we did it. And that's just don't be afraid to try something new. It'll work out.
Well, and I'd like what you said first, and I've been a proponent of that for so long. It's just been such a strange world for so many years. I used to always tell people it was so odd to me to walk by people and just ignore them like they're not even there. There's like people put up a barricade, blinders, if you will, and you're walking by people on the street, instead of saying howdy or hi or anything, it's like you're not even there. You don't know what the opportunities, or at least the chance you might have had if you had said hello to somebody, and especially in a group. I mean, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say hello. Put yourself out there a little bit. I know it's hard for some to do that, but you're nailing it right on the head, man. It's absolutely just, be able to recognize your fellow human being. Everybody needs a shot, right?
Well, absolutely. And this, I grew up in the old school mentality where, if somebody needs a hand, you help them out. Don't be afraid to shake somebody's hand and introduce yourself. And I tell you what, that can go a long ways with a lot of people, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Because it is a family style industry, and meeting people at these truck shows and stuff like that, you run into a lot of good people. So
yeah,
just don't be afraid to say hi. It could lead you into a spot that you weren't expecting. That could be the best thing that ever happened.
Dan brings up a good point too. It is a generational thing. I do see a lot better, I guess, a lot better environment in our world than I do in the general public with this, and that is that the younger folks don't want to interact with other people, and their world's in a screen, and it's just they can kind of live that simulated life or whatever. But at this point too, man, I don't take any offense that anybody doesn't shake my hand and gives me a fist bump instead. I get it. There's still, I think, germaphobe shock out there from the COVID thing. That's okay. I'll take a fist bump any day and a handshake overall. But you're right. The truck show this last weekend was so much fun to get out, see people, shake hands with folks, meet new people, all of that, man. It was a good experience this weekend. So what's coming up for you truck show wise, my friend? Where are you going to be at soon?
Well, we were planning on making it out to Matt's. My 2-axle is a little delayed. Kyle, that's been working his tail off on it, was in the hospital, got real sick, and then we were talking about taking my cab over out there, and we're with the way things have been. The timing's not right, but I know we're going to set ourselves up for Trucking for Kids in May. And I believe we're taking everything we got there, and we're going to fly back from Texas and try to do our best to represent, the West Coast there for, Trucking for Kids, and do our thing. And if something changes here in the next few hours with my cab over, it's ready to go. She needs to be cleaned up, but I'd love to take it out there. But, the way things have been, this winter's been pretty hard on all of us. So we'll see what happens. I might be able to pull something off and surprise everybody, but I know I did enter out there, and so we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I was hoping you were going to make it out there, but you know what? I understand 100%, and you got to do what you can, and we definitely want to see you at Trucking for Kids. So if there's a choice, then let's make FAMOSO happen and Trucking for Kids. And everybody wondering what's going on the dates on that. That is May 3rd and 4th, the first weekend of May, and that is at the FAMOSO drag strip in Bakersfield, California. And Dan says we need to see Brenda, drag her in.
She's right here. This is the peanut butter to my jelly, like I said in the article. And Get over here.
I'm not dressed.
Come on in.
You're just come here and say hi.
It's just you and me and Bobby. That's all.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not dressed. She's fine. She's over there
Well, that's
checking her hair.
different. But hey, wait a minute. What?
She says, "No, she's camera shy."
All right. Well, that's cool. We'll get to see her in enough short enough time here in the beginning of May, I think. Anyway, so something that was really kind of a kindred thing, I think, for you and me, my friend, and this really hit me was we were talking a week or so ago before we got you locked in, and it turns out that we have a common denominator of a truck that we both used to drive.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I you go ahead and tell the story because it's news to me, but it's pretty damn cool.
Well, when I went to work for David Cry, he was looking for somebody to drive his transfer, and he picked me up one day. We drove straight to Reno. That truck was available. He bought it and brought it home, ran here on the Central Coast out of Morro Bay, and David decided to paint it. And I had this hunch because I had seen that truck when I was up there working for my uncle. Well, actually, it was right after when I was working for Michael, and saw this transfer rolling around through Lodi and up on I-5 area, and had all these lights and all this. And I mean, it was dolled up, and come to find out that was yours. And yeah, we drove that here on the Central Coast before David sold it. And I think that truck now is back in, I want to say Kansas or Iowa, somewhere back there, still running.
Wow. Well, it was the right setup. So, I mean, that was a C15 6NZ Cat that had a few little things done to it. And that was my show truck, man, my working show truck. And that was the one on the 2003 December edition of 10-4 magazine. And I would love to have that truck back at some point in life, but you never know. I kind of doubt it, but I've heard stories where it was, what it looked like, and that kind of thing. Did it still have the T-handle shifter for the raise and lower down on the left side of the driver's seat?
Yes, it did.
Did it have the 10-4 badge on it?
Yep.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I think we did, David painted it. We turned that thing into a quick change where you pull the box off, set a fifth wheel on there, pull an end dump. But other than that, he changed the color. But for the most part, it stayed the way it was and was a great truck. I know David used the heck out of it, and he sold it to Donnie Thomas. And other than that, I know it's still floating around.
That's amazing. Well, I guess you've been a cover trucker twice now. You were sort of in one already before you got here. Now you got yours. So good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, what about truck wise, man? Obviously what we've got on the cover this month, I know you got a bunch of other stuff. Is there anything project wise in the works?
We got my 2-axle that's in the process of getting finished up. It was a truck that was in an accident a year ago in December, and we decided to go kind of a little crazy with it. And it got to the point where I won't say it's it was supposed to be practical for the trucking industry so we can do what we need to do, but I think it might have went a little step further. Yeah. So that truck, like I said, it was supposed to go out to Matt to be displayed, but I don't feel it's right without Kyle being there. So we're going to go out and display, put that truck out there in May. And I think it's going to be a head turner for everybody. It's one thing I haven't seen. What Kyle's done with it is this kid's over the top. And I couldn't say enough good things about the kid. He's just come a long ways, his whole family, the whole crew up there. So when this truck comes out, just be ready for it. It's going to be cool.
Well, I was looking at something else here on our website, so I had switched pages on there and got away from what I was going to bring up, and I'll bring it up now. But here we'll share some of these shots from the photo shoot, and there we go. Can everybody see those? Remember, we had a problem. This was the other problem we had last week. I was trying to share pictures, and it showed where they should be out on the screen, but nobody was seeing them on the other end. Dan did a fantastic job, as always, shooting a truck. You guys have fun during the photo shoot?
Yeah, we did. We had a good time. The weather just ended up being perfect. Yeah, I mean, it went well, really well.
Well, you look for some of these for Friday night, because you'll see these on Friday night's post on our social media. I got a couple of these nice night shots that Dan did. We'll be sharing with everybody. Out there in the grape vineyards, it looks like, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we got one ranch that we do a lot of work for. They were kind enough to let us do a shoot out there, and with everything kind of dormant the way it was, that orange and cream truck turned it really, that color popped. It came to life, and
yeah,
did a hell of a job with what he did.
Yeah, this shot right here, I like. This one's one of my favorite ones right here. This one, and then there's another one coming up here where it's parked beside the barn, and I really like that shot a lot. Let me see. This one here.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. It's got that steeple up there on the top, kind of coming through, and a little bit of color on the ground, but the truck's just popping, man. That was looking good. Good look. I can't believe how freaking nice the sky looked that day too. What a deal.
Yeah, the funny thing is that ranch, 30 years ago, that was just an absolute gorgeous horse ranch, and all those tops, like I was telling Dan, they're all copper tops, copper gutters, and that place used to be all polished out. And I mean, that ranch was a replica of a ranch back in Kentucky, and just a beautiful place. And so it would have been cool if everything was shined up on the barns, but they haven't had horses there for probably 8 years now. So it's turned into a vineyard now.
They got out of California, right?
Yep.
Well, that's the way it is, man. The way it is. There's another looker.
Yeah, that's my conventional that I drive. We put that together back in 22, and that's my wine wagon, and it's a truck I use to pull my cow trailer around.
Well, I can't wait to TFK, man, and we get you locked in for that, and out to the new track, and I mean that's going to be something. Have you been down to Famoso before?
Yeah, we were just there this weekend for March meets, and I think that's going to be a great facility for trucking for kids. Yeah, centrally located, first and foremost. I mean, I hope that right there brings more people in. But just the track itself is a great location, plenty of parking, camping, good people that are running that place now. It's changed a little bit since last year, and I think it's changed for the better. So it was really cool this weekend to see all the dragsters running. That's why we weren't down there at Pickett's show. We were up here at the March meets watching friends and stuff and camping and having a good time.
So it was nostalgia drag racing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I love that. I love that stuff, man. I used to watch in Sacramento all the time, go to the nostalgia meets down there, and it was just the best. Our good buddy Brandon Chase, man. I'm going to start having everybody do this for Brandon, but give Brandon a shout out there, would you, Bobby?
Hey, Brandon, how we doing?
And yes, Brandon, Bobby, and a lot of other folks are going to be out there at Trucking for Kids this year, so don't miss out. I'm glad to hear the feedback on Famoso. I know it's a nice track. I mean, we've looked at it in person. Everybody, I think, but me, has been down there to take a look. I've never been there in person, but boy, it looks good on paper and in pictures. So can't wait to be down there and have this event take place down there this year. Not to mention how much room we've got for RVs to come in, trucks to come in. We're just literally not going to run out of room here, I don't think. So everybody get pre-registered. Are you pre-registered?
Yeah, I think Brenda got us all pre-registered. The only thing we got to worry about being that close to Bakersfield is that Red River coming through the Pounds boys. I think they're going to take up the whole parking lot.
And who's this?
The Central Valley Transport.
Oh, CDT.
Yeah, Mark Pounds and his crew. we got to watch out for the Bakersfield guys. They're going to take over.
Hey, you know what? It's been years down in LA and somewhere down in that area, and it's just been completely, pretty well consumed by a lot of folks down there. And Central Valley Transport, man, they've been down there for a long time too, coming down and doing a good job repping. But hey, we got room, Dan says, so bring them on. And it's going to be a great event this year. And then ultimately at the end of the year, back over to Kern County Raceway in Bakersfield for the 10-4 Trucker Rodeo too. So we'll get you at that one too, right, Bobby?
Yep, we'll be there for that. That was a great event this past few months back, and so yeah, we're excited for what's coming up this year with 10-4 and their shows that they put on. So I know Trucking for Kids, we're gonna try to bring the whole fleet out there and show off what we got.
Well, that's awesome. We're honored to have you do it, and blessed to have everybody giving us the support that they are for both of the shows that we put on here on the West Coast for everybody. So we're looking forward to it by a lot. We're really excited about it. I mean, Dan right now is probably freaking out a bit, and I think we all are, because we're gearing up for mats and we're in full mode go for mats right now, and of course Trucking for Kids too. So anybody out there thinking about being a vendor, want to come in and compete, want to be a part of the races, whatever part of Trucking for Kids you're thinking about, let's get her done. Get a hold of us and let us know what you got in mind. We are looking for some top tier sponsorships. Absolutely have room for another one to come in. We would love to have that opportunity to talk to somebody out there if they're interested. And of course, all the vendors that want to come in and promote themselves, their products and services as well. And what's Dan saying here? It would have been on the show today, but like Brenda, it's a bad hair day.
Yeah, she's over here laughing, listening to it all. And I think she's camera shy.
All right. Well, we'll get to see Brenda in real life, and that's always better anyway. So, Bobby, thanks for taking the time out today, buddy, and letting us have a bit of your life and world and share it with everybody here. We'll look forward to seeing you if we do in Louisville. If not, we'll see you down in Bakersfield come May.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for the opportunity and being welcome to the family. It's definitely an honor. Yeah,
you bet, man. Once the 10-4 cover trucker, always a 10-4 cover trucker, and you are definitely part of the family. I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
All right, Don.
All right, buddy. Bye. All right, there, Bobby Vaz, everybody, and appreciate him doing all he does and everything he does to make us all look good, and he definitely does a lot of that. Yeah, California is tough, man. It's not, it's no joke trying to make a living in this industry in the state of California. And my hat's off to anybody out there that's still in the state of California and able to, make it happen. Whether it be in complete fleet or otherwise, I understand and I get how tough it is. So you guys stay in there and stay tough. And if you need to leave, go make it somewhere else, man. I'll tell you, just come back for Trucking for Kids and the 10-4 Trucker Rodeo every year, and we'll still be fine. So yeah, no joke on getting things ready for upcoming mats. If you are a product, service, whatever you might be, a brand out there that wants to get with us, please reach out and do that. The live stream programming from Mid-America from Louisville is on again this year, and we are looking to fill spots right now. So the breakdown on how that is going to work, everything is done. All I need to do is get that to you. If you're interested, please get a hold of me. Otherwise, Trucking for Kids and same program will be live streaming from the race and truck show down there as well in May. So look forward to being able to put that all together for everybody. Just on a closing note, and I've been seeing so much input, so much coming in. And this is just my opinion, guys, but there's been a lot of harshness going around, and in regards to what's happening with everything. Well, all I can say is it took a while to get us to the point we were at economically and otherwise. It's going to take a little bit to get us out. So let's all stick together and let's all try to make it happen fast as we can. Hang tough, hang tight, and it'll work out, man. It will work out. Bottom line, common denominator of everybody in this country, we're all Americans. So let's get back to remembering that. And remembering that we need to stick together, work together, and stay together. It has to be that way. You just can't be, this side of the line or that side of the line and expect things to change or work. We all got the right to think and feel and believe what we want, but in the end, don't we want America to succeed? And that means us succeed, all of us. So let's all do the best we can to really work on making that happen. And I think in our industry, we represent well. There's a lot of good ambassadors out there that do a really good job of making people feel welcome and making people feel the worth that they have. And Bobby, I think, brought up great points, and I really, firm stand believer on number one. Don't be shy, man. Say hello. Get to know the guy next to you. It takes a village, and we saw some of that this weekend. I did, with some kids that were, getting out a hand a little bit, and people were like, "Hey, you can tell them to, stop or whatever." And I thought, see that, I mean, there's enough trust in the world from some people still that then they know their kids out of line, then somebody should be able to say something without people coming unraveled. It definitely, it takes a village, and that was what I said in response. And it wasn't me that was having any issues. It was just a situation. I just happened to be there, and I watched and witnessed it. And, it can be done, folks. We can come out of this okay. It'll be good. And listen, if there's anything 10-4 can do to help, please, personally, myself, as 10-4, whatever we can do to help people get through things, if there's something we can do, we don't have a problem doing that. We're part of the solution. All right, y'all, listen, can't wait to see everybody, man. Next week, I got to get hold of all of our guests, but next week we should be doing our follow-up of the Big Rig Build-Off Builders and see where everybody's at. Also, I had a commitment from Toby Young to be on the show with us, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I think we need to get that inside perspective from Toby and get us, fill us in. What is it that makes MATS and the PKY what it is? And, the way it's formed to where it's at now. Yeah, it's got to come out. We need to get some answers there. And I know we'll get those in our show. I can't wait to see where the Big Rig Build-Off guys are, though. That's going to be fun. Dan, great advice right there. You can be Dr. Dan now. Just read 10-4. We'll give you the warm fuzzies every time and make your day better. And hopefully tuning into Studio 10-4 Live will help that process along. One of the best things you can do to get that warm fuzzy feeling and have that magazine is subscribe to it. So get on over to our subscription page on the website and get yourself yours coming in every single month, every single year. All right, you guys, listen, if you're not registered yet for Trucking for Kids, get that done. TFK coming up first weekend of May. Let's get it all done, and we will see you guys tomorrow. We will see you guys. In fact, listen up. I may have something very, very special, very cool promotion. Sharon, thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate it. I love having you on the show. Gene, you too, as well as everybody else. But I might have something very special from an advertiser that wants to do something to make your life a little more entertaining while you're on the road. And I'll explain tomorrow, but We'll be doing our way back. Where are they? Throwback Thursday, Throwback Big Rig Thursday. Keep the shiny side up, everybody. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging in with us. All right. Take care. Talk to you soon.